get up, get out of the door. Head on over to Shop Tour Bus. Go get yourself some new clothes, man.
Yeah, some sick t-shirts, super comfortable hoodies, maybe even a tote bag, a couple stickers, something like that with Grateful Dead. What are they, like mysteries? They're like little song mysteries.
Picture mystery shirt design things of Grateful Dead songs. Go check it out. ShopTourBus.com or at ShopTourBus on Instagram. You're going to get all kinds of extras in your bag. You might even get a Grateful Dead cassette bootleg in your order. A little miracle from our family over at Shop Tour Bus. And hey, when you're checking out, don't forget to put in the promo code No Simple Road, all one word.
No Simple Road.
Because they are hooking you up with free shipping. See, it's a hookup all the way around. You're hooking them up with business, and they're giving you free shipping, and it's fun, man. Go check out Shop Tour Bus. You'll see what I'm talking about. They are the coolest designs on or off the lot, anywhere you've ever seen, anywhere, ever, with your eyeballs. ShopTourBus.com. No Simple Road is stoked to have Sunset Lake CBD back with us as our sponsor. Sunset Lake is the real deal. If you've looked around trying to find CBD and it just didn't do what it was supposed to do, this is the place you need to go. They've got every kind of product you can imagine, including CBD tinctures with sleep gummies that are great for getting to bed, CBD gummy bears and reishi-infused chews that can help bring you a little bit of calm in a stressful day. They've got salve. They've got smokable hemp flower that's great for folks like me that don't want to get stoned and paranoid but want to have the benefits of cannabis. Well, now you got it. And they even carry CBD products for your pets, man. I'm saying this is Darwin approved stuff. Go over to sunsetlakecbd.com and check out the full range of what they have. This is Vermont grown, right to your door, and they're giving you 20% off. So put in the promo code NSR20 when you're checking out. You're going to get 20% off your whole order. And I know you're going to love it. They even have subscription options open for you, so you don't forget to get your medicine. Go check out Sunset Lake CBD, everybody.
No Simple Road. Yeah, here we go. No Simple Road.
You sure?
Maybe.
You sure?
I'm not sure because you keep saying that and then you're like, one more thing.
No more things. That's it. Hey, No Simple Road family. This is Aaron.
And this is Mel.
And Apples and I here. He was here for the interview, though.
Yes, he was. With
David Gebroe from Discograffiti. Is that how you say it?
Well, I think it's Discograffiti.
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 Yeah, like discography.
Yes.
Graffiti.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a brand new podcast. It's part of the Osiris Network with us.
Wow.
Welcome to the network, Dave.
Welcome, Dave.
And this was a hell of a fucking fun conversation.
Yeah, I feel like if anyone's interested in like behind the scenes of podcasting or like podcast talk, this is going to be very interesting for you.
And what Dave is doing is, to say ambitious is undercutting.
Yeah,
what he does.
He's going all in.
Yeah, this is like an individual that is putting out 4 episodes a week plus Patreon content plus. I don't know when the guy sleeps. I guess we kind of discussed that a little bit.
We talked about that.
But we hit it off right away with Dave and had a blast.
Dave's real. He's real.
That's for sure.
And he's going to tell it like it is. And so the more people we talk to like that, the better. You know what I mean? I like when people tell it like it is.
He reminds me of a comedian, and I can't think of the guy's name.
Not the Bueller guy?
Bueller?
The one that says Bueller?
No, not at all.
Levy is who I was thinking.
No, Eugene Levy's not the Bueller guy. But
I thought that was not him.
No, I'm thinking of Louis Black.
Well, that's who I didn't mean Bueller. I meant Eugene Levy.
He even sounds like Louis Black a little bit. And I could see him getting all just like him. But yeah, man, this is a guy that is all in. when it comes to podcasting and podcasting for music and giving people the content that they're looking for. He's got
Thorough,
deep dives
yeah,
with members of the Minutemen and Testament and
Michelle Phillips. They did a whole thing on Mamas and the Papas.
yeah, and these
he did.
Yeah, and these are not like hour-long interviews. These are like 4-hour.
They're episodes.
Yeah, 5-hour deep dives that are
like mini documentaries.
Yeah. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Wow.
Audio,
well done.
Yeah, mini audio documentaries, and that's really cool that he is devoting himself to this craft and has the tenacity behind it. And he's really taught us a lot about not ignoring Patreon and really putting a lot of energy in there. But also, he's got a lot of energy to give.
Yeah.
Like he's,
And he's my age.
Yeah.
I was going to say our age, but you're young. You're still young. All right. So
I'll take that.
Yeah. So Mel.
Yeah.
Right now it's Thursday, and we have 4 days left before we leave for Fish Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
What part of Fish Mexico are you most looking forward to?
I guess the sunshine right now. I am really excited about having warm weather and like letting my body feel the weather, dressing not as warm.
Right.
Like having the body the sunshine literally hitting my body. I miss that. Like that's something from Vegas that I really miss, is having a warm
sun.
Yeah, sun.
The sun is the thing that we miss.
I miss that.
I get
a lot.
it. This is the first year living here that I've felt like, yeah, okay, I'm kind of done with winter right now.
Yeah.
First time.
I don't necessarily I'm not really mad at winter. I just like I need it. I want it.
I get it.
Crave it.
I can't wait to.
Oh wait, and we have a cool jacuzzi in our room, and I'm excited about
Hell
that.
Yeah. That's what I was just gonna say. I can't wait to stay in a 4.5 star hotel. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Hell yeah.
Being with our friends.
Yeah.
Oh, and seeing fish, and being in Mexico.
That's the whole thing.
And hanging out with you.
You just wanted to talk about it. Is that it?
I'm looking forward to the food too.
Aaron's been very excited about the Mexico trip and has been bringing it up every day with good reason.
I am honestly, I take it all back.
You're not looking forward to it?
No. Do you want to know what I'm most excited about?
Oh, what?
The latte that I'm going to have at the Houston airport. That. I'm
excited about traveling with our friends.
Krista and Sean?
Yeah.
Me too,
I'm
man.
super excited. There's like all these fun little things that are happening on the way there. Yeah, so I'm super stoked about the whole thing.
Yeah. So we're going to spend our this weekend putting together a bunch of content for all of you so that you have it while we're gone, because we don't want to leave you all in the lurch.
That's right.
And just send us good travel thoughts this year as we leave for Mexico on Monday night. All right, everybody?
It's going to be great.
Let's get them all to the interview with David.
Yeah.
But before we do that,
we're going to tell you about how you should be a member of our Patreon.
Yeah, man.
So go to nosimpleroad.com. Well, you can't click on that.
Go to patreon.com/nosimpleroad.
Well, I was going to get them there the long way, I guess.
Yeah.
You can go there through our website as well, but go to patreon.com/nosimpleroad and join for $1 a month, $5 a month, $10 a month, whatever bucks a month you want. And then we will have some content back there as well. You can get the shows ad-free and early before anyone else does. And we're building a community there. Yeah, we're not where we want to be, but we're in funner places than we've ever been there.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And Apple's putting up stuff. I'm putting up content when I have time. Aaron's doing his like reviews of coffee and just, sometimes special thoughts that come up, and we're just throwing them up there too. So that's No Simple Road's Patreon. So do that.
You can go to our website and gather No Simple Road merchandise there. It's nosimpleroad.com. You can also sign up for our newsletter, which comes out whenever I feel like putting out a newsletter. Our calendar of events is up there, and you can get a tarot reading from Mel and I with the Grateful Dead Tarot deck. You can go there and sign up and spend an hour with me and Mel over Zoom, reading your cards and seeing what's going down. So that is our website. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say you can call 971-808-1524, and that is our tepid line.
And we have a call.
Woo!
No Simple Road fam. This is Dave from California.
What's up, Dave?
I just wanted to say I know you often say that you should use the tepid line for whatever we want.
You can do whatever you
but
want.
you encourage show reviews or things like that. I think it'll be a while before I get any kind of show review. It's just tickets are expensive nowadays, prohibitively so for me. So unfortunately, I don't have a show review. I just wanted to say that I wish everybody love today. I wanted to send my love to Aaron and Mel and Apple and
Thank
Ryder and
Love you, buddy.
everybody in the NSR fam today. I just feel like somebody out there needs to hear that they're loved today. So this is me pushing my love out to the fam today. And I hope that everybody is healthy and happy and supported in whatever way you need. I don't know.
Yeah, you do.
Know that you are loved today. And I don't know.
That's
I
it.
feel full of joy today and wanted to share that with the fam. So I love you all out there. Whoever's hearing my voice, whoever's listening to me in the future on this episode,
That's cool.
wherever they play this, if they play it on the air. I love you. I love you all. And I hope that humanity as a whole has a good day today.
Oh, that's
Wow.
a sweet thought.
What a
That
what
is
a wonderful person.
Peace out from the California Panda.
Later, California Panda, David.
Oh my gosh. Okay, there's a lot of things there. First of all, thank you for being the good vibe representative this week. I really appreciate that.
I think David gets the job as NSR hype man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And we got two good Davids on today.
yeah.
But thank you for doing that and reminding everybody that there are people out there that love them. Because you know what, David, you're right. People sometimes forget. Sometimes they go in dark places and dark corners and they literally forget that people care about them.
Yeah. And just hearing it from somebody sometimes is enough to lift you out of your funk.
Yeah. I mean, like,
And you don't even
know
need to know them.
That's right. You're like, you know what? That's cool. Thank you. I appreciate that. And you got a little more spring in your step. And just, you sent another voicemail. And I just want to thank you for participating in No Simple Road. That is really what that means to me. Like whatever you say on your 3 minutes of the tepid line is fine, but you're actually participating in the No Simple Road river. And I appreciate that. And so thank you for doing that.
Oh, shit. We got a new review.
What?
We did.
Okay, so let's hear it.
I'm going to check this out.
Oh my God. Oh, and I owe them an art piece.
Yes, you do.
Okay, let's hear it.
So here, what I was going to say, thank you, David, for calling in consistently on the tepid line, showing everybody what it's all about, how to engage with No Simple Road. That's 971-808-1524. Now check this out. Please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, we've been begging for months, actually.
Like Safe Tie Thur.
Okay.
Like safety third.
Yes.
Yeah, I get it. No Simple Road is the best. Beyond having a trove of an insightful and inspiring interviews, Aaron, Mel, and Apple are three people who are just genuinely sweet to listen to. The NSR Weekly Rewind is always a wonderful mix of heartwarming, funny, and thought-provoking conversations, and I really cherish hearing each week's episode. As I write this review, I'm listening to their most recent rewind and loving the review of the Dark Star show. One of my favorite aspects of the show is being able to hear reactions to goings-on in the jam scene, like DSO Raging the Roseland, from three people whose opinions and experiences I really respect.
Aww.
I really can't recommend this show enough, even for people who are not in the jam community. The perspective that NSR provides really has universal resonance, and I think there's something for everyone in their catalog. Much love.
Thank you, Safety Third. That's cool to hear because, I know that we're a jam podcast, I guess, fall in that kind of category, but we're such different people that I don't think about that when I think about No Simple Road.
No Simple Road is its own universe.
Yeah, so I feel like there's so much for anybody. You're right, but because we can get kind of grouped with that because we love the jam scene.
Well, thank you for that really, really sweet review, and whoever you are, shoot us an email at nosimpleroad@gmail.com and let us know that it was you, and shoot us your an address, a mailing address, so Mel can get you your art piece.
Yeah.
And we're going to continue to bribe you. So please leave more reviews, everybody.
Yeah, I want to
go to Apple Podcasts and leave them.
I want to leave something specific and beautiful for you. So if you like send us an email, maybe you can just put like the time of year you were born, or your favorite color, or something that you really enjoy doing, a cool hobby, any kind of little clues like that, and then I can send you something.
Mel's gonna make you
awesome.
some mojo.
Yeah.
So thank you for doing that. And hey, all of you out there, as you well know by now, if you listen to the show, if you leave reviews on Apple Podcasts for us, if you've never done it, what it does is it helps other people find the show. So please go do that for us. We would appreciate it. And besides that, tell somebody you love about No Simple Road so that we can spread our mycelial network across the universe of connected hearts, minds, and souls in this musical universe that we're all a part of. And stuff.
So if you listen to this episode with David Gebroe and you're like, dang, my friend would love this episode, tell him about it.
Yep.
Send it to him.
Oh, last but not least, No Simple Road is part of Osiris Media. I would love to welcome Discograffiti to the Osiris Media Network. And I would like to tell all of you about another podcast called Too Much Effing Perspective. And that is with Radiohead's old tour manager and his sidekick. And let me tell you, this is deep dives. They are going over people's Spinal Tap moments when they were out on the road. And they have a episode up right now with Stuart Copeland. And Stuart Copeland is a storyteller, to say the least. So go check out the Too Much Effing Perspective podcast. The episode with Stuart Copeland is up right now. And that is us. And we're part of Osiris. And you know what I'm talking about, man.
Yeah.
So, you ready, Mel? We get him to the interview?
I'm very ready.
You look like you're ready. You're rubbing your eye.
I have something in my eye.
Okay.
That's why I was rubbing it.
Here we go.
Because I'm tired.
Without further ado, the No Simple Road crew gives you
David Gebroe.
It doesn't hit the same when it's just you and me. It just doesn't. There's not like the 3-part harmony. It's
Apple's voice is dope.
We need Apple here.
I know.
We love you guys.
Tell him.
Here we go.
Yay!
Hey, all right, even better.
There we go.
Guten Morgen, folk.
What's up, man?
Guten Morgen.
Right on.
How you guys doing? That's the last German you'll be hearing from me.
Right. Bueno.
How's everyone doing today? How's everyone moods?
In a great mood.
Yeah,
we
I'm
actually
in a really good mood too.
For a rarity, have an entire day off when we're done.
But are you going to treat it like that, or is
Yes.
it just technically? Oh, okay.
We'll treat it
I
like
don't know,
that.
are we?
Yeah, we'll treat it. We have one thing that I said we needed to do, and that's it.
Okay.
That's it.
I have to cook dinner
That's it.
tonight. I have to go to the store and then make dinner. So yeah, not a lot.
I like to think that the three of you have all the same things to do at every point during every day.
That's the case. That's the case sometimes. Yeah.
I love that. I have a 4-year-old, so I love that kind of brain can only encompass that type of thinking.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's amazing,
I'm Aaron.
So to me, that is you. Hi, Eric. You said
Aaron.
Aaron. That's what I thought you said. Okay.
And then I'm Apple.
And I'm Mel.
Hi, Mel. Hi, Apple. Hi, Aaron.
Hey, David. Tell the folks that are listening who you are and where you're from, what you do.
My name is Dave Gebroe. I am a child of the universe, currently residing in New Jersey, and what I do is I have taken. I used to be an artist. I was a filmmaker, went to school for film, have 2 feature films I wrote, produced, and directed, with a 3rd on the way, and then got a straight job because I met a lady and I didn't want to come across like a loser sitting around waiting for money to come in. And then a bunch of medical stuff happened to me and my aesthetics came out of me sideways, and I trash barreled my career as a hearing instrument specialist, fitting and testing for hearing loss and fitting hearing aids. And now I have a music obsessives podcast called Discograffiti. And in stark contrast to the laid back, outlook of a typical deadhead, I put so much pressure on myself to have the highest output in the game. So 4 shows a week.
If you know about No Simple Road, you know how much I love coffee.
That's true.
And how extremely excited I am to have a coffee sponsor on board with No Simple Road. But even more than that, knowing that it is our extended Grateful Dead and Fish family that owns Northbound Coffee Roasters.
That makes it that much sweeter.
It really, really does. Northbound Coffee Roasters is a family-owned and operated coffee roastery out of Mount Shasta, California. With a combined 22 years of coffee experience and 600 shows between them, Keith and Jen pursue top quality coffees to provide to their customers. Now, I want to back up. 600 shows, that is Grateful Dead and Fish shows, not all Grateful Dead shows. I was saying all Grateful Dead shows in the past. That was wrong. It is Grateful Dead and Fish
That's
shows.
still pretty impressive.
That's what I said. That's a lot of Fish.
That's a lot of shows, period, for anything.
And check this out. They are coffee nerds just like me. They specialize in organic, wide variety of roast profiles, blends, and single origin offerings to match the taste of anybody who enjoys a quality cup of coffee. So what you are going to do, that you out there listening to the sound of my voice, you're going to go to northboundcoffee.com to learn more and place an order today. And they ship anywhere in the U.S. and their coffees are always freshly roasted to order to guarantee the most delicious, delectable, and satisfying cup of coffee. Use the promo code NoSimpleRoad at checkout for free shipping on your first order of any size anywhere in the U.S. and sign up for their newsletter for additional discounts and all kinds of inside info on the family over at Northbound Coffee Roasters. Headlight on Northbound Train. This is the fuel, man. Dave, that was the first thing I wanted to say.
Yeah.
How
well,
are you?
First of all, congratulations on being able to do that, no matter how you do it.
Because
it's amazing.
It's insane. First of all, and it's not just the 4 episodes. I get your newsletter too, and that's no joke. Like that stuff takes time, man.
Well, for each episode, I've listened to your entire catalog in the last few days. Like, I mean, that's a lot. No, when you say that, it's like I've listened to your entire catalog when you're going down the rabbit hole on rating all the records, singles, everything. That's a lot of listening on top of doing what you do.
So I guess the question that lies at the bottom of all of that is, how are you doing all this?
You never sleep.
And having a kid.
I don't really sleep. So in the last few years, thank God, and also, I'm screwed that in the last couple of years, along with the creation of the show, I have had crippling insomnia that has made it possible to do the show, and also really kind of pitched in to me being flippant and leaving my career because my brain was not working.
Really,
it was honed in. You know, I was like, this is it. My whole life has come to this. This is like an important turning point. I can't turn my back on it. But, I was deranged. It was like, my drug intake kind of mirrored maybe like 1968, circa 68 Dead. So it had that, like a train will run you over, like the caboose will, that pounding thing that they did back then, which is unequaled. And hopefully we could talk about that too. But,
absolutely.
And actually early on in the show's gestation, I was going to do, because we're completist, doing a thing on the Dead would basically mean giving the show over entirely to the Dead, which I have no problem with, but I was trying to figure out how do we tackle that particular dilemma. And my solution to it was 4 shows, each focusing on an era of Dead, only studio records, which of course is anathema to a true Dead fan.
Right.
But still to get through it. And I had Dennis McNally on board. And then I abandoned it only temporarily to get to a point where I had a bigger audience and could get, really big guests who could help situate the Dead in a place that was not mayor centric.
Yeah, no, I get it. I tell you what, man, I've learned actually in the past year is some of the younger Grateful Dead fans that are out there now know more than all of us put together about the Grateful Dead. And I'm not talking about mayor centric Dead. I'm talking about classic live Grateful Dead. These guys can quote you, the 28-minute Sugar from 8/4, 72 is amazing, and
they're like 24 years old.
Yeah, and so I would be happy to connect you with some of those cats if you want when you decide to do that, because I think it would be cool to have a young perspective on the Grateful Dead when you do decide to do that. And it's such a Herculean task to dig into the discography of a band like the Grateful Dead. And like you said, the studio stuff is anathema to a lot of Deadheads, but I don't think I'm one of those people.
Not to me.
I was going to say me either. I love the studio stuff. American Beauty is some of the best music that's ever been made, as far as I'm concerned. Working Man's Dead.
And then if you're truly if you're going to stand your ground on It's Gotta Be Live, then at the very least, you got to embrace Anthem of the Sun as a stone cold classic of forward thinking and how you present live music in a studio setting in that context, blending and bleeding in and out, and actually giving form and shape to Lysergic Acid, which no one was really doing a great job of explaining. But Anthem of the Sun does a pretty good job of explaining what it's like.
Melt Premium Mushrooms, a fine sponsor of No Simple Road. They have a 30% off this month with the promo code No Simple Road. And why would you go there? What would you do? Because Melt is putting out the most premium, delicious chocolates, mushroom chocolates, with their blend of
adaptogenic mushrooms. They have 4 grams of their sacred mushroom blend in there. These are going to lift you up. They're going to take you out of your mind and into your soul, out of your body and into the stratosphere. Or you can just microdose them and hang out and do better work and stuff, man. Yeah. That's what it's all about with mushroom chocolates. And hey, if you're not into the whole chocolate thing, you can get capsules from them. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to Instagram and follow @Melt Mushrooms, MELTMUSHROOMS. The S is important.
Yeah, let them know that No Simple Road sent you, and they will send you over a menu, and voila.
And you can take it from there. You're going to get your 30% off. It's going to be a whole thing. And, if you didn't get chocolate for Valentine's Day, you can go hook yourself up. Or if you forgot to get that special someone in your life a little chocolate, you could hook them up with one of these and really blow their cookies. So go check out Melt Mushrooms. That album is imprinted in my psyche over and over and over again from the age of 19 till now, of the quintessential what it is to be on acid. They really did musically play out what an acid trip is and explain sonically what's happening. It's amazing.
Yeah, it really is.
When you go to tackle something like the Dead, because you're not jam band centric at all.
As a matter of fact, I love the Dead and I love Fish, and that's where it ends.
Really?
All the rest of them, to me, are and we probably shouldn't spend a lot of time. Well, no, I'm just saying I don't want hate mail sent to me. But,
you're allowed to dislike things.
Opinions are okay on No Simple Road.
Yeah, I mean, String Cheese Incident, Rusted Root, especially Dave Matthews Band. I really find contemptible, actually, not even not liking.
Wow. Okay.
And is this through listening only, or have you seen these live shows?
Listening only.
Okay. That's fair.
But the Dead, conversely, there's great stretches in my life, starting when I was a young teenager, when nothing else sounded appropriate. Everything else musically sounded wrong to me for extended periods of time. But I will say that there's elements of the Dead, and let's let's be honest. I mean, they try to tackle almost every genre in the playbook.
Mm-hmm.
So it's okay if there's a couple things that I don't particularly cotton to. And to me, that's anytime they play a Chuck Berry song, it's a skip.
Yeah.
I don't think they rock convincingly, and that's okay. They're not supposed to be the best at everything they do, period. But I hate their Chuck Berry covers. Also hate Drums in Space.
What?
Because it's what that is a reminder that they've taken the boundarylessness explorations of Darkstar, and because they're back to two drummers, they can't really do Darkstar anymore. So instead, they sequester it. They squash it down into this little space, which is code for let's get a beer. And it's right. As soon as the Coke took over, as soon as the Coke and heroin took over in 77, 78,
Right.
then those boundarylessness, those explorations, which to me were the heart and soul of the show, became peripheral. So I hate Drums in Space.
Wow. Well, you know what? I disagree with the sentiment, but the logic that you just presented is sound. Like the argument is sound. It's true that it became secondary, and that prior to that time period, it was quintessential to a Grateful Dead show. But I think I'll counter that what you said with, I think the Drums in Space experience is incumbent more on the listener than the player. I think that it's the mindset of the person experiencing whatever it is that's happening, even if it's not coming from that space. I think that the listener, if properly lubricated, can find that as well.
I'd say it's my favorite time to dance. Whenever I'm one of those like the few dozen that are standing dancing when everybody else is sitting down or taking a break or whatever.
Sure. And so, I'm curious, of the three of you, are you, all of you, unapologetically loving every era of the Dead, or is there a year where any of the three of you fall off?
I fall off, period. I mean, I think that I didn't grow up with the Dead at all. I started listening in my 20s when Aaron and I kind of got together, and I just never cared for them or sought them out. Jerry died like a month after I gave birth to my first daughter. So I wasn't in any of that kind of like, it just never called to me. But when we got older, I started seeing things like Further and, the different kinds of, Rat Dog. And I think I wouldn't.
Wait, so how do you, so you do have a deep love for the Dead, but only just very specific aspects?
I would say my love is very shallow. I will say that it's more because of,
it's not bigger than a Cadillac.
It's not bigger than a Cadillac. I'm only foot deep. I'm not throat deep, because
how'd you wind up on this show? Shouldn't you be on a
I know, shouldn't I be on another show?
She is a diehard Fish fan, though.
Well, I'm on this show just because Aaron and I have been married 26 years, and I kind of tagged along for the ride. Now 6 years later, I've seen the Dead. I mean, it's fine for me. It's fine. What I like about it is the camaraderie and everything else, but like, it can be any music, to be honest. They could do Chuck Berry. I wouldn't care. I'm with my friends. It's the experience of it for me. It's truly not about the music in that specific regard. However, it does speak to you when you properly lubricated. And so for that, from that realm, I also appreciate it. But like just straight up, She's
not listening to the Dead on the way home from work.
I'm not doing it.
Right. Aaron and Apple, how about you guys?
Go ahead, Apple. You go next.
I'd say I definitely I agree with you on the Chuck Berry thing. That like Johnny B. Good, so certain songs, it's like just doesn't come true for me. Those are the ones that are like kind of like, okay, I need to go to the bathroom or something right now.
But is there a year or is there an era where you just stop being a fan?
No, never stop being a fan. It's always the Grateful Dead is always home. always has that comfort and home. But I mean, kind of like, Touch of Grey, when that stuff came out, it's kind of like,
I love Touch of Grey. But I'm just saying, as a live concern, there's certain years that if there's a Dave's Picks or a Dick's Picks that surfaces, certain years like 73 and 74, I'll stop what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And check that out.
Okay.
But I don't go past Englishtown, New Jersey, 1978.
78. Okay.
really,
That's where I stop.
Okay.
That's the last one for me.
So I go ahead, Apple.
well, I was just gonna say, I think kind of coming to it late too. Like Aaron got into the Dead before me, and then my first show ever was in '91. And I got on the bus in '91. Before that, I knew like a few songs of theirs and stuff, but like 91, I really got on board after seeing my first show. And that's where first time I ever was dancing to Drums in Space, and Fire on the Mountain is what hooked me, that song, and then started going down the catalog. So I don't think they really ever lost me anywhere. I enjoy all the, and that's one thing I love with the Grateful Dead too. There's so many different eras, different keyboard, different keyboard players, different things, different drums.
Well, you could split it up basically by keyboard eras. So,
yes.
As soon as Keith died, and it was replaced by what sounds to me like an ice cream truck sort of keyboard. I don't like Brent, what he brings to it.
You don't like Brent singing?
No, it sounds like he's gone to the bathroom.
Oh, wow, man. I know a couple people's heads that just exploded. I know two for sure.
No. You know what I'm talking about. He's
straining.
That thing is like he's gone to the bathroom. So it's a turnoff for me. And frankly, if I'm throwing on In the Dark, it's for Touch of Grey, it's for West LA Fadeaway, it's for Hell in a Bucket. Yes. It's not for Tons of Steel.
No, Tons of Steel. I'll go with you on that.
See, I love that you're being so honest, because you clearly have love for the Dead, but you're like, no, that's not all my stuff.
That's a Deadhead right there.
I love them like crazy, and I know a lot about them, so I'm not talking out of my ass, but there's probably a lot of people on your show who I'm guessing, because the Dead are in my top 10 bands of all time. But I just draw the line at a certain point, because I think at a certain point, Jerry was, maybe other people as well, but Jerry for sure was disillusioned at the empire that had spun out of control. Yep. And certain things, I think he was just punching the clock, or I'm doing this because this was something we started doing a long time ago. And frankly, I don't know how to stop doing it at this point.
See, Dave, you touched on that whole statement that you just said. I had a bad trip at the Gorge a few years back.
This is Dead and Company.
Dead and Company. Mm-hmm. And I saw that exactly.
Where you're assured a bad trip.
You're right, but you're kind of right. Like I saw exactly what you just described, just behind the curtain, and it like soured me like from then on. And it's not that I can't listen to it, or I won't listen to it, or I don't appreciate what they've done for the scene. I think what they've actually done is pretty incredible. But yeah. I totally agree with that. Like at a certain point, it turned into a 9-to-5er in a certain kind of a way, and the magic. It's up to the person. It's up to the people to keep the magic. It wasn't necessarily,
I saw that, like she said, behind the curtains. I thinking of that, like 95, last time seeing him in Vegas, I went, one of my friends worked for Bill Graham Productions, and I got an all access pass to hang out backstage, do whatever. And I witnessed that behind the scene. Like nobody was even talking to Jerry. He had a security force around him. When he left stage, he went to a separate tent than the whole rest of the band. They were like sequestered away from each other.
What year is this? 91?
This was 95. 95,
yeah.
Yeah. When I, like I said, the first show I saw was 91, 92, 93 was cool. 94 was kind of weird. 95, it just, you felt it. And probably because I was backstage and I got to kind of witness the separation of the band. Like Jerry just went off into a tent by himself, and then they came back on stage all separately. There was like, you could feel like there wasn't a lot of communication, and it was kind of sickly backstage. Yeah.
I think for me, my favorite era of Dead is Primal, Grateful Dead, stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like when they were figuring it out.
The acid test.
Yeah, the acid test stuff, maybe.
Oh, so you're talking 65, 66.
Well, yeah, like from 66 to like 74 is the good shit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All the other stuff is great up until the end of 89, in my opinion. I like 80s Dead. I like when Jerry came back from his coma and learned to play again. And I like Brent. Brent really like made me feel at home at my first Grateful Dead show. It's a memory of Brent's playing that really like sticks with me. But once we got through 89 into 90, I was on tour and I could see what was happening. I could see that the edges were rusted and that the thing was weird. And as we got further into the 90s, 94, I even kind of stopped going as much because it was sad and kind of depressing.
Yeah.
And so if I'm putting on Grateful Dead, I'm putting on, like I said, from like 66 to 74, or
I would even say
80s.
65. Because I love those early shows and that initial tape with Early Morning Rain.
Yeah.
I know it's basic, but I love that. And I listen to it as much as anything. And so 65 to 74, they never made a single incorrect move. In my
Agreed.
opinion. That 9 years was everything. Then when they came back in 76, it was fine, but it lacked. There was a cocaine professionalism to it that was perfectly apt for the disco era, Shakedown Street, etc. And they played some amazing shows, inarguably, but it was a different kind of thing, and they weren't searching anymore.
No, it became, man.
David, how do you figure somebody can, because they're like one of the longest, running bands, at least still touring and, merchandise and all that stuff. Like, how do you feel like a band can continue to pop out fresh stuff and still, have the people that are there listening and the fans interested and wanting to come back?
Well, I think with them, the formula they set up always leaves that X factor of we don't know what's going to happen. It also is inviting to making mistakes. So their game plan is perfect, because even if they are inebriated to the point of not even being able to stand up, it is a known fact, if you haven't just crawled out from under a rock, that part of the allure and the greatness of the Dead is that most of the time they suck because they're taking chances. They're walking out on a knife's edge, taking serious risks to cohere, if only for one magical moment during the context of what could be surrounded by hours of dog shit. And they're well aware of it. The audience is well aware of it. It's an implicit agreement that we're looking for something. Come with us, we'll find it together. And unfortunately, over time, what that leaves a sort of unwritten clause about is if they start to stumble, trip, and fall in their own shoelaces as people, it allows them a lot of breathing room to fuck up on stage knowingly, not in the search for anything, but just playing shitty music without a goal in sight.
Yeah. Right. So they kind of set it up in the very beginning.
They built it in unknowingly, a clause like that. Yeah.
I have a memory of, there was a show, I don't remember the year, maybe 89, 90, at Irvine Meadows Amphitheater. And I remember the night, I remember the show, I remember being there. It was fucking transcendent being in that audience that night. Jerry took me somewhere I've never been before. I had an experience at that show that was just insane. And I went back and listened to that show recently. It was one of the worst shows musically I have ever heard. But for whatever reason, there that night, that was not how it felt, man. I was somewhere else with them. But you go back and listen to it now, and it's, you know, the time is all wrong, and Jerry's singing off key and fucking mumbling, and like, it was just painful to listen to. So I don't even know how to explain that, like, other than you were high, you know what I mean? But that's an experience that is happening in spite of what is coming out of on stage.
Yeah.
It's that's wild to me that
it is.
It's disparity, you know, that kind of disparity.
Yeah. I mean, if you're not really a thinker, if you're more of a just like dive in and, you know, a Dead show, no matter what era, no matter what year, is going to be a great experience no matter what.
Yeah.
If you're a navel-gazing douchebag like me, you can think your way out of a paper bag. And I'm just sitting there scratching my fucking chin during the show. So to me, looking back, I saw them In the Dark. I actually saw them as a teenager literally before I knew you had to actually inhale for marijuana smoke to affect you. I had it in my mouth and I thought, I'm not feeling anything.
Yeah.
So that was the first time I ever smoked, but I don't feel looking back like I really saw the Dead.
Oh, that's fair. You know, go ahead.
Well, I'm just curious too. What about Jerry Garcia band? Because that Aaron got me to a show in '91. I'm so glad it's the only time I ever saw it, and that was such an amazing, different thing to hear him.
That's a different animal, bro.
Yeah, that's like gospel.
So I don't. I'm not going to be reductive here. I don't want to be, but from what I came away, reading about that band, it was a lot of it was an excuse to have a place to hang out with John Conn and do heroin. Is that
wow?
From his own, from reading books about what he was doing with John. I could be totally off, and I don't know the Jerry Garcia band as much as the Dead.
Because I mean, there's some like stuff with Howard Wales or with Melvin. There's some stuff that is just complete lightning in a bottle. It's.
I need to learn about them. I don't really know what's supposed to be.
I can send you some stuff that is smoke a joint, put on your headphones, and they're taking you. You're going.
Smoke a joint, because I'll say this, even though I'm like, I know the least amount about the Dead or anything, anytime Garcia birthday or the birthday band. Sorry. Them too. Them they're really good too. But anytime Jerry Garcia is on, it feels different. It's totally different. It feels more rustic and it feels more like church. Whether you like church or not, it's like a more spiritual, more heart tugging. You know, it makes you emote in a certain kind of a way, and it feels good to listen to. It's not like, oh, I get it. Like you're trying, you know, it's like you can't deny it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't had very many experiences with them. I know there was a live set, a 2-disc live set that came out around 91 or so.
Mm-hmm.
That I really, really loved. And I listened to that a lot back then. But otherwise, I truly would appreciate some kind of like I got you. A rundown list. Yeah, thank you.
I got you, man. It's
thank you.
If you're a fan of Jerry Garcia in the 70s, the Jerry Garcia band stuff is him unshackled from the confines of what the Grateful Dead were, and exploring his own musical space as an individual with different players, doing the songs that he loved, so that you get somewhere that you don't get with the Grateful Dead. You really get the essence of Jerry, who he was, and what's coming, the soul that's coming through the playing.
It seemed more natural to him. More like he was on and happy all the time when he was doing that.
Doing his thing. I'm curious what, we're talking about the Grateful Dead, but right now, today, what's the stuff that's got you excited musically? Well,
because of the completist nature of my show, I'm kind of shackled to whatever I'm researching.
Oh, okay.
A lot of that doesn't mean I'm not excited about each and everything. That I've become more and more selective about what I'm covering and who is guesting on the show.
Right.
And what I've been preparing for now, which is one of the great thrills of my whole life, is on Tuesday, I'm doing a massive interview with Michelle Phillips where she's going to rate everything the Mamas and Papas ever did.
Oh, shit.
And I have 125 pages of notes for that. So I've been
gosh.
only just circling that orbit and all the solo members. But let's see. Some of the things I've been listening to, a lot of just for fun, is there's a new guitarist named Daniel Bachman who's in the John Fahey style, who's doing incredible work. Let me see. I'm not listening to a ton of new music. That is new though. I've been listening a lot to all the extra stuff that comes with Greg Allman's Laid Back, his solo record from 50 years ago. That whole release, not just that record, but all the stuff around that, from when Dwayne passed away, and he was a wreck, but he really had his finger on the pulse in terms of making moving music. They're what a great band.
Oh, yeah.
Doing a deep dive on those guys, because they're so legendary, but all their legend rests on 1969 to 73.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Been 50 years of who gives a shit, but it doesn't matter because those 4 years were so crazy.
Yeah, that band is an enigma to me.
How so?
Because they were so good that it doesn't make sense to me that they weren't on equal footing with the Grateful Dead.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
Success wise?
Yeah. And fan base wise, like why people weren't doing Allman Brothers tour and stuff. Like because it by and large, it was kind of the same experience happening. You know, they were musically attacking from the same direction.
Yeah. And they played gigs together and totally simpatico, certainly more so than the Beach Boys and the Dead.
Yeah.
But
never made
not
sense.
that wasn't a cool pairing for the disparity. But so do all three of you have a clear favorite Dark Star?
No. I don't for sure.
I don't. Aaron,
Do you have a clear favorite?
I do have a favorite.
Dave?
I do, but I'm just curious if a Deadhead is even able to say such a thing.
Well, have you heard about what Phil's doing?
What's that?
Terrapin shit.
Terrapin shit?
No, I can't remember the name of the website.
Phil presenting Terrapin shit.
Well, that happens. God damn it! I can't.
Terrapin. I think I crapped my pants.
It's an online. It's a website where Dark Star lives now. And so what they're doing is they started playing Dark Star, and it will never stop. They're going to have other bands pick up where they left off and do their piece, and then another band is going to come, and it's in perpetuity. Dark Star will live forever on this thing. Yeah, it's really cool.
Dark Star is one of those songs where if your kid is listening to it, you know part of their drug history.
Oh yeah. All right, here we go. I'm looking for the date of this.
Dave, how do you decide what's next or what you're going to spend all your time researching?
Some of them fall into my lap. Some of them are just the way my inner winds blow. If I'm wanting to listen to a certain thing, then Honestly, it's been more motivated these days by guests.
Okay.
And the reason is I am relying 100% on the income from this at this point because there's no other way to do it. And my monthly income is currently $902 minus $30 for monthly expenses equals $872 to feed a 4-year-old, my wife and myself. So I can't, unfortunately, even though I live on the margins in terms of my tastes, I can't dwell on the margins quite yet with the kind of focus that I would like to and have intermittently through the show's history. You know, I need to do more things more like the Beatles solo careers. And, you know, the biggest episode this year has been Nirvana, which was there wasn't even a guest.
What?
So, yeah, I mean, I've had famous, you know, very famous guests on, and the one without the guest is, you know, I'm trying to crack the code so I can feed a family and then do whatever the fuck I want.
You figure it out. You let me know.
Okay, so how old? How
long?
Is,
go ahead.
Well, I was just going to ask, how old is the show?
It's 2 years old.
Wow. So 2 years old, and you're just like, you were all in immediately at 2 years?
No.
Okay.
Initially, it was a whim. It was my friend and I, my best friend, and we, you know, said this would be a great idea. Real simple, quick idea to make millions of dollars in our free time.
Of course. A couple hours a week.
I mean, it really wasn't for money, but, you know, but we had, you know, we were confident it would be great. A few months into it, we started getting a real audience. And then I started getting very laser focused on it. And it terrified the guy I did it with because to him, it was still a lark. And I was diving down the ultimate rabbit hole, which is I was ready to throw my life into the fucking trash can for the show. So we went our separate ways. He still does a lot of the Patreon stuff with me, which is awesome because he likes doing it. He doesn't like anything else. And so then I started getting really serious about it and working from, you know, I'd wake up sometimes as early as 2 a.m, be working all night, go to work on it all day, stop working on is that one of those things you get online where you get like, is it really good? Is it a good cloth?
It's awesome. Yeah, it's like silk.
Okay.
I was cleaning my glasses for everybody
that's
listening.
the dead? That's awesome.
Yeah, there was this company that gave Aaron and I sunglasses and this is from that company. Aquila sunglasses.
So how many sponsors do you have?
It's
right now 3.
Yeah, right now 3,
maybe 4.
But Dave, through the 6 years that we've been doing it, we've had like 70, 50.
No.
Yes, we have. If you go back and think about all the little one-offs we've had, we've had so many different.
I haven't gone down that road yet. How many years have you guys been in existence?
It's 6.5.
Going on 7.
Okay. At what year did you start looking for sponsors where it felt like this makes sense?
Well, yeah, maybe a couple years in, we pulled like.
Oh, this was kind of same with you, Dave. This was not like, oh, we're gonna all 3 of us spend every single weekend for the next 6 years doing this. We did not think that at all. I wasn't even involved. I didn't care to be involved. It was a cool thing my husband was doing. Great, have fun. He pulled Apple into it. Cool, friends doing their thing. I support it. And then it was like, well, you come on. And I was very hesitant and reluctant because I didn't want people to know my business. I didn't care about that. But I was supportive, you know. And I was like, it's a Grateful Dead thing. I'm not into it. It's fine. But then there was like a lot of feedback of my opinion because I'm not like those two. I have a completely different opinion and had a different upbringing. And so I bring something different. And so from that point on, when we kind of solidified it was going to be the 3 of us, Aaron was like, I found my special purpose and this is what I want to do in life.
I was like you. I'm ready to go all in, but we still had a son. I work a day job still. And
we all do.
Yeah.
Okay.
But 2 years in is when
do you make decent? I mean, this obviously is. I'm guessing off the record, but
it's fine. I'm not shy.
With the sponsor, because I haven't flipped that stone over yet, but I'm starting to tread those waters because I've had such a focus on Patreon.
So it's funny.
That's a good focus, though, Dave.
Your money from sponsorship is 1,000% dependent on your listenership.
Right.
Because it's cost per mile. It's like $25 per 1,000 downloads, right?
But the thing is, that's if people know this world. If you approach companies where there's a young CEO who has quote unquote vision,
that's what we've been doing.
Facts.
That's exactly what we've been doing. So that's what I was going to say. 2 years in, we have been and will continue to be very pointed in who we take on as sponsors for No Simple Road. We're not taking on bullshit to sell it for no reason. So we've taken like.
How did you know how to do this by yourself? Is somebody doing it for you, or
no? This was all me.
Well, Aaron's dad. Aaron has a background in the entertainment industry.
My dad was a producer, director, writer. My mom was in show business as well. She was a trapeze artist.
Anything that I would have seen that he did?
Probably not.
It was like B
movies back in the 70s. You know, yeah.
Try me. What's his name?
Fists of Steel.
Fists of Steel. Not My Daughter is one that he did back in the day. My dad was a Las Vegas show producer and produced Jack Benny,
Judy Garland, Sammy Davis Jr.,
all those guys.
Did you say Fists of Steel?
Yes.
That's a Bruce Lee film? Or
no. This was Carlos Palomino, the boxer. It was so bad.
Henry Silva.
It was awful. Yeah.
Henry Silva was like the one really recognizable name. And
that's
always like the bad
guy. But I say all that, or I mentioned that because it really, I don't think any of us would have known, but because Aaron had that background from his dad, he kind of understood how and where to ask for money.
Yeah, and so our first sponsor was an online Grateful
too,
Dead.
Because of the okay.
Sure.
It was an online Grateful Dead t-shirt company that does like Grateful Dead songs in picture. And I thought their shit was cool. And I was like, well, would make sense.
I have to plead total ignorance. What is a contract with a sponsor? How much would I ask for?
That's
or
up
I
to
think
you.
I'll say this. That sponsor that he mentioned, we still have them. Shop Tour Bus. That's still our sponsor.
Longest running sponsor.
We, at the very beginning, we're like, this is your price per month till whenever.
No. That's not what happened.
No, but it's how it's been.
I wrote out a business plan for them, like a real pitch, and it's going to go up this much per month over this many years, and da 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 da. And the owner of the company came back and he's like, "Brother, we'll just do X number of dollars forever." And I was like, "Okay."
Is it a good?
It's great
deal,
but it's one sponsor, and so learning.
Yeah, but this is all piecemeal, so
it's under $500. I'll say that.
But still, I mean, because the money I get for my ad on Spotify is it's looking like about $70 a month, I would say,
for an ad on Spotify.
Yeah,
what is that? Explain that.
It's just about using Spotify as a platform for podcasting.
Yeah, that you have at the beginning.
Yeah, I append it.
Okay.
I append it to the head of my thing, and it's pennies. But you know what? We get enough of this. So it sounds like you've focused on sponsorship, which that's why I'm asking you questions, because I know nothing about. I know about approaching people and asking for money. I just didn't know if there was a standardized.
No, man.
agreement.
I've been approaching people that we have relationship with. And that are part of our network of family.
Stuff that makes sense for the show too. Like,
do you have a Patreon?
Yes.
Yeah, and so that was the next thing I was going to get to. Our Patreon has been going since the second year of No Simple Road, and we did not put the energy into Patreon that we should have. For the first 5.5 years, it was lackluster at best. And I figured that the people that listen to the show would just help us with money because they liked listening to the podcast. And that is not the case. You have to create content for Patreon.
I'll make you a deal. Because I've worked with such ferocious intensity on the Patreon thing. And honestly, I haven't even started, because the next couple months is going to be a serious attempt to relocate everything over there.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of reasons for it. It would be my pleasure, especially if you're serious about it, to help you guys, give you ideas.
Fuck yeah.
Or all the tips that I've gone through, and give me some whatever insight on the sponsorship thing, because I think it seems to me, and also I've talked with people who have been massively successful at this,
Mm-hmm.
that a lot of it is just just being persistent and knowing how to repurpose successfully.
Yeah, I've come to the conclusion that at this point, I'm doing No Simple Road because it's all I know how to do. This is this is my life, and I'm in this for the long haul, no matter if it ends up paying my rent or not. But I'm not saying that for any other reason than to give you context. The goal is for this to support us and more, right?
Yeah.
So so
there's all these revenue streams,
Right.
right? So there's sponsorship, there's affiliates, which is another thing. Because of Patreon, honestly, and the amount of work that goes into my long form interviews,
Mm-hmm.
I just haven't gotten the time to be able to open up these revenue streams. But affiliate, anytime somebody buys a record, they do it through me and I get a cut. That's a revenue stream that's waiting to be opened.
Mm-hmm.
Books. So transcribing your interviews, transcribing whatever it is, or the story around the inception of the podcast, whatever that is, whatever that looks like. I started getting into actually asking my guests for music. And now there's enough that I could put a compilation up to sell it through my Patreon.
Wow.
Which, of course, acts as a Trojan horse to get people into Patreon, because you have to be a member to get that, and it's only sold through there.
Yeah. See, we've started doing we have a friend of ours that, like, one of these guys that I was telling you about, that's like encyclopedic with Grateful Dead and Jerry Garcia band stuff, and he's picking like the juiciest, best stuff, and we're putting that up once a week. We have another friend that like knows all the best jam band shit, like the deepest, coolest, weirdest jams. He's putting that up. Apple's doing content every week. Mel's pulling a tarot card for the Patreons every day. I'm doing my own thing. So we're getting in there and working it a little bit, but it's
like a child, and it really does require its own amount of attention, because Patreon is the social media, and if you're posting things, you can't just post it and be flat. You have to like respond back to what they're saying, or like whatever other people are posting, and so it really does become.
Where are you guys active social media wise?
Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram.
Okay.
Are you on both Facebook and Instagram?
Facebook, Instagram, and X. And the reason I have to be on everywhere is because I have so many guests that come through. In order to utilize the socials, I don't know what platform they're going to use.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the one I focus on is definitely Facebook, though, because with Facebook groups, there's a whole level that you can't get anywhere else.
That's true. When we started No Simple Road, Facebook groups were huge for us, and I just didn't have the time to maintain the engagement there. That's why I moved to Instagram. But Instagram's been really, really good for No Simple Road. I want to go back to your question because I didn't answer it. 11/11/73. Dark Star.
Yeah, let's get back to the show.
11/11/73.
We could do a side episode, Dave, on this, right?
We're gonna set up,
on the other side.
I gotta say, for a band that's so heavily marijuana intensive, that was an impressive conversational bookmark.
You like that?
I love that.
Yeah. So 11/11/73. I actually hadn't heard this Dark Star. Hey, this is a Patreon plug, by the way. Until my buddy Andrew put it up as the pick for the week. And it is a 35-minute odyssey Dark Star. And it's not the kind of Dark Star that is gonna take you to the outer limits of space. This is a Dark Star that is patient, and you're hearing the best of what they can do interpreting that living thing that is Dark Star. It's really, really fucking good. And the recording, it's on re-listen. The recording is really good because some of those shows, man, it's the audience recordings are painful. What's up, everybody? If you're like me and you're trying to do better for yourself and what you eat in this new year, I have something really cool for you. Factor's delicious, ready-to-eat meals make eating better every day way easier. Wherever tomorrow takes you, be ready with pre-prepared, chef-crafted, and dietitian-approved meals delivered right to your door. You're going to have over 35 different options a week to choose from, including keto, calorie smart, vegan, and veggie, and more. And there's even more to enjoy with over 55 nutrition-packed add-ons that help make your weekly meal planning even more delicious. What are you waiting for? Sign up and save. They've done all the math. Factor is less expensive than takeout, and every meal is dietitian approved to be nutritious and delicious. So here's what you got to do. Head to factormeals.com/NoSimpleRoad50 and use the code NoSimpleRoad50 to get 50% off your first box and 2 free wellness shots per box while subscription is active. That's code NoSimpleRoad50 at factormeals.com. Take all the guesswork out of trying to do the right thing for your body. Fuel up easy and fast. Go check out Factor.
I don't even mind it if like stuff from 67 or whatnot, when they're doing, old versions of Alligator, as long as they're doing Alligator,
Yeah, right.
I don't even give a shit.
Yeah. I think
That's a great choice.
Yeah, thanks, man. Do you have a favorite?
Yeah, I do. I definitely do. And this one, it came out of not necessarily a search for Dark Stars, but there was this one super intensive period of listening to them. And I came across this one. It really blew my mind because usually there's one defining or characterizing feature about a Dark Star. This one encompasses whole universes. And I love when they get to that place where it's not just creeping dread and like the crawling coke bugs that come out of Jerry's guitar or what have you.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a derogatory way, like real palpable terror.
Yeah.
But this one is the dead at the Fillmore East, 9/1970. And what's remarkable about this particular date is it's the night after Hendrix overdosed and died.
Oh,
And I can hear in the music, and I don't know if I'm investing my own personal perspective on these kinds of things, but I could hear the draw of the limelight that, that attracted the Hendrix moth. And I can hear the terror of, not only what happened with Jimmy, but I can hear the empathy in Jerry, and, the idea that it could very well be him. And of course it was 25 years later, but it's incredible it took that long. But I can hear all the range of all of human emotion on 1970s Fillmore East Dark Star.
Wow.
All right.
I can't wait to listen
I was
now.
going to say, yeah.
It's funny. I can't think.
I'd love to know if you think I'm overhyping it once you listen.
I can't wait to listen to it. I can't think of another band except for Fish where folks have a favorite, this one or that one. You know what I mean? It really speaks to what the Grateful Dead did. I think that Fish is a logical extension of the universe that the Grateful Dead created. They, those guys are all admitted Grateful Dead fans and grew up listening to the Grateful Dead and other stuff. So I think that's where the comparison diverges. You're getting Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Frank Zappa influence with, Talking Heads, with Fish, that you don't have with the Grateful Dead because the Grateful Dead just didn't grow up on that stuff. But the guys in Fish actually had space between them and the Dead. So
and also the Dead's world is, as much as they stand for exploration, it's as hermetically sealed in atmosphere as is humanly possible. Nothing got in there.
No, it didn't. And so I can't, like I said, I can't think of another band besides Fish where people have a favorite this or that. Like I can think of my favorite Fish 2001 right off the top of my head. And
I don't have my favorites. I'm still learning.
You're still learning?
I'm still learning.
Well, so what do you like? What do you listen to?
Well, honestly, like I listen to a lot of ambient music.
Like what?
Like spa music for years and years. And they're just like compilations of like flute music and Tibetan bowls and harp and even flamenco guitar. And when we're all together, our soundscape is the same. I don't have my own music on, so we listen to a lot of Goose and a lot of Fish and stuff like that.
Really strings.
On my own, I like to have music on so I can think. I don't want to listen to music to think about their music. I want music on so I can think. So I like to just not hear lyrics. And so that's what I do on my own when I'm like driving to work or I'm like cleaning the house or like I'm spending my time listening. It's to, benign. No, there's no celebrity in the music. It's just music to listen to.
You have a new nickname.
What?
Ambient Mel.
Well, music is
no. How about Mel Low?
Yeah, Mel.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Actually, that's been my nickname my whole life.
Yeah, Mellow.
Nice.
But yeah, like music is so many things, right? And like because we go to a lot of concerts, like this last 6 years, I've gone to more concerts in my life than I've gone in my whole 45 years of living.
That's
and
great.
It is absolutely great. And I never thought that I would be tired of live music, but I do. Like my ears just get tired of listening to different things. And so for me, I need to, if I'm going to hear something, I don't want to hear anything.
It's like a palate cleanser.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I want a little spoonful of sherbet music and that's it, like benign.
In stark contrast to the last several years, I mean, I call a large group of people at a live show a no thanks.
You can't do it, huh?
I'm like at this point, I'm either the studio albums or a studio album of the live experience.
Well, but Dave, our show has kind of been. It didn't start this way, but it became a live music podcast. And it's not exclusive to that because we've had authors on, we've had chefs on, we've had comedians on. So it's not exclusive music, but like a lot of our listeners come from us going out and passing out stickers and stuff, and then listening to, being in the show together and then them listening later. So like, it's kind of part of our job as a podcast.
Our ecosystem.
Yeah, to go out and do these live shows of up and comers as well as established music, to be in the scene, to be in it. And I never thought I'd want to do that or would do that, but that's kind of what was birthed from the show.
Something that happened with No Simple Road is we became, I was searching, this is years ago, like searching for guests to have on the show, and I was finding out about new and interesting music that was cool for me. And so we'd have those people on the show, and then our listeners would be exposed to a band they had never heard of before. So that has become a staple of No Simple Road over the years, is that we're introducing.
What is your guest search criteria then?
Whatever
if we
makes
like
me
it,
happy.
It's because, okay, this is the thing. I know like you will put on stuff and you'll be like, oh, this was great. I didn't like this, but whatever. Right. We want to like it. I want to appreciate it, because otherwise I don't care to listen. My ears are precious and I don't want to spend time listening to stuff that I don't want to hear, to say, oh, I didn't like this in the last, like.
We have a show called Queasy Listening. It's a Patreon show. And it's specifically to not because everyone, especially YouTube comments, loves to point out how shitty everything is. And that's it. Instead of actually, offering a viewpoint that's worth anything. So
that's true.
This explains to you why Billy Joel sucks.
I love that. Actually, that's actually fucking cool, man. Yeah,
Cool show.
the criteria.
I'll listen to it. I won't be a part of it. I'm like, if I don't like something, I'm gonna keep that shit to myself. Who cares what I think?
I do, and so do the people that listen to the show.
Yeah,
honestly.
Listen, I don't care how peace and love you are as a Dead fan. Everybody likes, in this day and age with social media, everyone likes to like point at the guy falling down.
Of course,
Oh, yeah.
of course.
In any way, shape, and form. So don't shy away from that on your show.
the criteria for a guest on No Simple Road is something that the three of us find interesting,
Are mutually interested
yeah,
in.
that we dig together.
Or
And-
sometimes there's favors.
yeah, we've done that before, and then we end up falling in love with whoever we had on. But like, comedians that we find funny, or an author that really gets us off, or a band that one of us finds that we all dig. And
Do you know Michael Chabon,
No.
the author? No.
Mm-mm.
Okay, he was one that got in touch with me recently. So are you happy with your numbers?
No,
We were just saying that they're pretty low,
they're
but
low right now.
but
And-
they don't stay that way. It's
I'm gonna look at them right now. I can't actually see your numbers, but you know about listen notes, right?
oh yeah. So
Oh no, you guys are top 1%.
right, I know that. But for us, we're
It's
in
never enough.
no, and we're in a downturn right now for whatever reason. Like
Yeah.
35%.
Do you remember what you said about your Nirvana episode? You're like, I've got all these amazing guests, and then you think those are the ones that are gonna like.
Always the ones where I'm like, okay, at least this section I can breathe easy. It's a no-brainer.
No.
The no-brainers are the worst.
There's no rhyme or reason,
well,
dude.
we had an
Yeah.
artist, a poster artist, one of our best shows, a poster artist. He doesn't sing, he doesn't have music out, he just does art, and it was amazing because his social media and his followers are very active, so they wanted to listen. Versus somebody who is somebody like A or B list celebrity, and then their numbers are fair.
We had Trevor
or okay.
Hall on the show, who has, I don't know, 140,000 followers on
And
Instagram.
he's a big star.
He's a big name. This guy sells out Red Rocks. Like he's big. No, we had Torin from the Kitchen Dwellers on, the banjo player from the Kitchen Dwellers on. That episode crushed. That was our top episode of 2023. No rhyme or reason. I can't figure it out.
But I would say no rhyme or reason.
Currently, the lead guitarist of Testament is on the show.
Yeah, I heard.
We were just listening to that, a little bit of that this morning.
And he's a great guest. He was
he was very verbose. Good dude.
Yeah. And, he has 125,000 followers on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
So not that the numbers for this were not respectable, but that should have been a flood of people coming through, because he accepted my Instagram collaborator request. So my post became his post.
Right.
125,000 people. I was just thinking, all right, come
sit
at
back
me.
and let it come out.
And it was just crickets, or not crickets, but it was the same,
Same thing.
Same fans.
I've learned. So
There's a
we had O'Teal on. Very early on, was one of the first musical guests we ever had on the show. And when I was putting the episode out, I remember thinking, this is it. This is where we bust out. We're going to the top right now. When I hit send, this is it. No, that's not what happened. And over the years, there have been a few, like we had Billy Strings on. This is it. No,
that's cool. That's cool. He's really good.
Oh man,
but you know what?
He's really good.
Jesus,
the podcaster, what's the comedian podcaster that we had on?
Duncan Trussell?
Yes, Duncan Trussell. He was a good one for the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had him on twice. Yeah.
And
hey, by the way, if I could put you in touch with any of the people that have been on my show, I've had an unending flood of people.
Wow.
So just scroll through. If anyone's of interest to you, I'll put you in touch.
I think you and I need to set up a meeting.
Yeah, you guys totally
Let's do
should.
it.
I want to talk
Let's do it.
Was that really David Lee Roth on the Van Halen episode? No.
It was.
I love that one, by the way. I listened to that. I listened to that this morning with coffee on the patio. I love Van Halen.
I was very deluded early on without having any episodes at all. And really, even though I'd done stuff creatively, never in this field, I was looking for advertisers. I was looking for guests like David Lee Roth. Oh Lord, looking back.
Hey man,
Dave,
all they can say is no, brother.
But Dave, with your
I know.
with your filmmaking background, have you thought of, or do you have any hope to put what you're doing onto some type of video format?
Well, I have a script that's music related that I've been trying to get off the ground as a third feature now for years. And Elijah Wood was actually set to produce it. And for a couple of years, he was on board looking for money, couldn't find any. Now his partner is still looking for money, but it's peripherally related because it's music based. It's a narrative feature about a psychedelic rock band that I created, and it fictionalizes that bizarre gap between the boundless optimism of Woodstock and the end of the 60s nightmare zone of Altamont. So it's a film about, it's called Bad Vibes, and it's about a band called Sunrise Majesty, and the lead singer turns into a werewolf that is prompted not by the full moon, but by the presence of a square.
Oh shit!
So it's of course spread by bawling. So the whole band gets it, and they have a mini Woodstock on their property in order to spike the punch bowl, fuck their fans, and send them all out into the world to kill every last living square.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Hell yeah!
That's gonna go to the top of my Netflix want to see immediately.
It's at the top of my Netflix want to make.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I gotta say, you're bringing up the film stuff too. Those are the one I just started touching on. Those are all the ones you do with John Landis. It sounds like he's a good friend of yours.
Yeah, John's the executive producer of the film.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. If he's like, why not get him involved in that? Because man,
he's involved. He's involved.
Awesome.
But the way the climate is these days, everyone's battling to find their own money. So he's lending his name to it as executive producer, and will do anything he could, will do anything he can, just like he did with my prior film. But this time lending his name because he did an American Werewolf in London, which is the best werewolf film of all time.
I just watched that like about a month and a half ago, and it still holds up, man. It's a great flick.
It's the perfect combination of scary, funny, and romantic.
And so I wonder, how come music and not movies? Like, why not do this with movies with your background?
I've always loved both.
Yeah,
and, often I'm listening to music more than I'm actually watching films.
Yep.
And this just, I was in my early teens and writing music criticism books and stuff. Music, film, it's all one piece. That's why John was on. And that's why films about music. Yes. There's no border for me, really.
Right
I get it. I get it.
Do you play an instrument?
I fuck around, but I actually have a band with the guy I started the show with. And it's called The Mentally Regarded. And it's expressly it's expressly just for the creation of a triple album rock opera about an elfin journey that is totally plotted out, and every song is a completely different genre of music. 2 of the 3 albums are completed and are about on Valentine's Day, and our Patreon will finally be available. But then we're going to do a Kickstarter for the 3rd album, which is going to be unlike anything ever done before, because it's going to be 10 2-minute songs on the first side and 1 20-minute song on the second side.
Okay. That's pretty creative.
Yeah, man.
That is hella creative. Right on, man.
And all that's available on your Patreon?
Really good. It's going to be February 14th. We're doing a show about the creation of the record, because it's been going on for many years now, like 15 years.
Oh shit!
So we have 2 albums done, and when I tell people this, the best thing about it is they look at me like, "Oh, you poor thing." like I did it on a 4-track or something. Like I'm a loser sitting in my bedroom jerking off onto a tape recorder. In point of fact, it was done in a fully decked out studio. And this thing is so crazy sounding that to me is the payoff, is watching their facial expression melt and transform.
Oh yeah, right on.
Whether or not you like it, it's produced.
Wow.
Okay. So if No Simple Road listeners want to find you, get involved, Patreon, all that, what do they do?
Patreon.com/Discograffiti.
Okay.
And right now, the free show is every Friday at 4 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Without fail, haven't missed a week since the inception of the show. But then through Patreon, you can get 2 episodes a week, 3 episodes a week, or even 4. And at the $10 level, you are getting each and every show 8 days before everyone else. And they're ad-free, and they're considerably longer. So they're the ultimate version. So sometimes, like this week with Mike Watt, that just went up, it's 10 minutes longer. There's shows coming up where it's going to be 2 hours longer.
Wow.
So eventually, if you're a fan of the show, the ecosystem is you just, I'll give it a shot. And then there's kind of hopefully no going back.
Right. It's an entire universe to involve yourself in. I figure that's what it's got to be.
Do you create seasons with your show?
No, because it's one unbroken season. I've never stopped.
Okay.
Yeah, we haven't.
Yeah,
either.
I never knew what that meant because it's season 1.
Yeah, like we never started that, but then later on we saw people doing seasons, and it kind of makes sense. So you could take a break, or you could finish a season early and go on a vacation or do whatever. But
what's a vacation?
We never. We didn't.
And take
didn't do none
and
of
take
that.
a break. Every time we get a break, when we have like a weekend off, we're like, oh yeah, weekend off, and we're like twiddling our thumb,
What
like
do we do now?
I feel like we should be doing an interview today. What can we do?
You want to hear something cool? Actually, I have all my every single last piece of content is spoken for me until January 19th for me right now.
Wow.
Everything, like several shows a week, and so I just always am monitoring my cushion. That's what I call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to push that cushion out. The material that I will have, I have the Mamas and Papas coming up, and I have Robert Schneider from the Apples in Stereo is doing both Strawberry Alarm Clock and his own band.
Oh, wow.
So once those 2 are done, I'm going to have enough material to get me to June.
Wow.
And then at that point, because I'm on an editing tear right now, at that point, I'm going to do everything I can to push the show forward instead of maintaining. I feel like I'm a junkie that the smack isn't working anymore, but I'm just too scared to quit. So I just need to fucking.
I understand that.
Yeah.
That reference hits home. Yeah. Well, David, man.
I feel like we're just getting started.
Yeah, we're just getting started.
Dude, can I just ask, how is this insomnia affecting your life? You seem to have like this awesome personality. You're smiling. You're happy. Like, if I don't get like an hour of sleep, I'm a freaking kill someone.
You're catching me while the mic is on, and I'm,
I get it.
Please
Okay.
drink coffee.
Okay.
But it's like as soon as I click off, I deflate into like a sad balloon shit.
Aw.
Because we have a good friend
No,
who's
I'm
got
tired. I'm fucking tired.
Yeah.
We have a buddy
who has
actually a really close
an
friend.
issue the same way, and every time we see him, he's fucking life of the party. He's great, and I'm like, how in the hell do you do it with knowing insomnia every night?
It really would take over the show, and admittedly, it would be worth it. It almost like it would be co-opted by the band.
Well,
That's
I mean,
why
that's
you know
kinda-
what. That's why I asked about seasons. Maybe you can do like a special season of that.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, put it
That's
out.
a great idea.
I think that I know that the Grateful Dead universe fans that are alive now enjoy podcasts and are hungry for Grateful Dead related podcast content.
Yeah,
And
it'll be incisive. It's not going to be probably the typical. I don't have time to listen to tons and tons of podcasts because of my workload. But I know it probably just wouldn't be the same take nor the same guess. but I can't wait because it's a lifetime. I was on Haight Street the day he died.
Oh,
Oh,
Jesus
wow.
Christ.
And that was an intense experience. I was also at Polo Field for in August '95 when they had that ceremony.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
That was incredible. I remember walking through Golden Gate Park through the woods, and in the distance, hearing his note perfect peals of his slide guitar from the wheel
Oh, yeah.
coming through the woods and just following that sound all the way out into the field where there were thousands of people there.
I want to ask you a controversial question. Do you think that it is the Grateful Dead after Pigpen?
Oh, hell yeah.
Really?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, anyone who's that much of a purist that, look, Pigpen was huge, but he kind of just did one thing, and, he just did it perfectly well.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was almost like a museum exhibit because, and even the name, an animal name. Here's why. Because the rest of the band was talent was almost metastasizing within all of them. It was getting quicker and quicker, and eras were being replaced by new eras and doubling up on themselves. And the whole time, nothing ever changed about Pigpen's approach.
Oh.
The only thing that ever changed, this is my argument, but to me, that's what's great about him, is that he would never turn his back on the rudimentary elements of the blues. To me, he was a blues purist.
Yeah.
When you're a blues purist, you don't go being evolutionary about it. You just stay a blues purist.
Well, no, and when the rest of the band is exploring consciousness through the avenue of LSD and you're not, it's hard to keep up with what's happening there you know what I mean? The evolution is not the same.
He's running in the other direction.
Yeah, you're working with a completely different set of tools.
He's using consciousness deadening tools.
Yeah, he's drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's in a whole different bag, doing a whole different thing. So when he was gone, there was no way to replace that energy or that person. They just got somebody different and did a different thing and introduced a very badly needed sense of being able to, have an odyssey on the keyboards as opposed to just pounding out. What I love, by the way, is that roller rink for Fisa. Sorry, I never know how to pronounce it.
I don't know this.
Yeah, in '66, when they would do super early shows at the Avalon and stuff, his organ sounds like at a roller rink, and I love that.
Yeah,
I love that sound. It sounds like I'm putting it down, but I love that. But Keith would never play that because he would fall asleep 3 notes into it. That just would not be interesting to a jazz player.
True.
Yeah.
True. I asked you that question because I've actually thought that myself. Like, the band The Grateful Dead started as The Grateful Dead with Pigpen. When Pigpen passed away, we were replaced with Keith and then Donna. Different band, different sound, completely different thing. Then they left the band and we get Brent, completely different band. And so people.
So maybe what the Grateful Dead means is it's not static.
Yeah, that's true.
It's kind of a revolving door and it has continued all the way till now.
True.
If in the universe of quantum physics, where after Keith's unfortunate demise, they broke up, they would be the perfect band. They would have had no missteps. It would have been the proper conclusion. But, this is a controversial answer to a controversial question is they should have just, either bagged it then or I don't know. I mean, your audience is going to pelt me with rocks.
It's okay. I think because I feel like this about No Simple Road. It's who you are. So what do? You can't quit being you. I mean, I guess I could quit being me that does the show.
What if I just decide to quit? Like, that's it. Then it's you guys.
It would be weird. It would be really weird. I don't know. I'm gonna plead the fifth on that one.
You can get like Schmelany to come.
Yeah, we'll have Darwin sit in. Darwin's our dog.
Listen, if you have the skill set to have gotten where you've gotten with the show, then your ingenuity and your street smarts means you can do a whole host of things.
Absolutely.
But it bores you. So that's why you're doing this.
The first thing you said to us is you're a completist. That's an intense statement right there. Like right off the bat. And I understand what you mean. And there are people that you make the world go round. People such as yourself, documentarians, researchers, people like that have to like get to the core of stuff. We need that. We love that. We all don't want to do that work, but we want to see it. And we want the benefits of the work being done.
Yeah, but all of us types look at types like you where you're like, I get the Dead. They're pretty good. I like a lot of bands. And you're writing in your journal.
Uh-huh.
We all want to be you.
This is true.
It's not. Yeah.
I've never thought that before. Okay.
I've got a follow-up question because I don't know many people that have been through the surgery. We're just talking about, I had mine back in March, and every day I worry about it coming back, but it hasn't. It's been good, and the doctor said this will probably fix you. I'm just wondering if it stuck after that traumatic kind of setback. Has it been good and stuck for you, the surgery?
Yeah. But I mean, I was anemic, and I'd wake up every day and be losing blood, and
wow. Okay.
And coffee stopped working for me. So it was kind of, it was scary. But so the surgery was necessary. That's why I did it.
Yeah. Same here.
Oy.
Thank God you're on the other side of it, man.
Yeah.
Right on, Dave.
Yeah.
It was a life changer, that surgery for me.
Yeah.
It was too for me. Why for you?
Because I'd had about 10 years before that of on and off dealing with those issues and bleeding, never knowing when you're going to the bathroom what's going to happen, whether it's going to ruin it.
And we'd be at like music festivals and stuff.
And it would happen.
Yeah.
Go to the porta potty at a music festival and have those issues. It's like, my weekend's fucking done. I'm going to have to paste on a smile, try to get through this and be in pain and worry about everything for the next couple days. And that's over now.
So this show was born out of, that was one of many problems for me. So I would wake up, I'm a type 1 diabetic. And before I got my automatic pump, I had a really bad case of some diabetics in the middle of the night when you're not able to control your sugar and things spiral out of control. And I was one of those. One of those.
Wow.
And so during the time when the show was first happening, because just to address the level of intensity that with which I attacked it, I was waking up super early because of insomnia, but also my sugars were upwards of 400.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and so I'd have to pee because it spills over into your urine. Mm-hmm. So once I started peeing, as soon as I'm peeing, I'm thinking about, I got to get in the Facebook group. I got to edit this episode. So it could be midnight. It could be 2 a.m. I was up for the day. But then I'd always go to the bathroom, lose a lot of blood. So every day it was harrowing. So when I was doing the podcast, I wasn't approaching it like a normal human being. It was like it felt like my fucking lifeline.
Okay. Wow.
I totally understand. I get that.
That makes sense.
That makes sense.
Absolutely.
Wow. So have you, I don't know, maybe you already answered this, but have you found equilibrium with that?
No, he said no.
No, right?
Well,
No.
It's hard too, Dave, because you're doing it on your own. I mean, I know you said your friend's helping with a Patreon, but like, if Aaron had to do this on his own, he'd be insane.
I do absolutely everything.
Yeah,
by myself. That's it.
I can.
Yeah. Even like Mel has started when I edit, she'll stay in here with me while I'm editing, and even that is help. Just having company while you're doing the work is huge. You know,
Do you edit everything?
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
I do all the social media, all the editing, and all the booking.
Yeah, so you do everything.
Mm-hmm. Apple and I show
Yeah.
up and we help with the
Yeah,
Patreon.
yeah.
And they do the Patreon.
But
Yeah,
but you know
That
too,
you-
Dave, like with too many hands or too many cooks in the kitchen, especially if you have a vision. You know, Aaron is very vision oriented. He's an artist, and also, you know, aside from all of the tech stuff, he is an artist. And so when you have a creative, artistic mind, you can't have too many people putting their shit in there because it's not what you're thinking of. And so the help that we can afford him is like get him something to eat. Or make sure shit's done for him so
'cause
he doesn't
I'll
have
be
to
down
do
here
extra.
From
I wish I had that. My wife sometimes is definitely good about. I'll forget to eat. Not
me
some
too.
of the time.
No,
all the time.
I'm on his shit. I'm on Aaron's. I mean, we don't have any. Our kids are both out of the house, so now we are each other's kid, and so I'm paying attention to that. I'm seeing he hasn't
that's
eaten.
nice.
I'm seeing like what's going on, dude.
Babe, you've been down here for 6
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah.
You drank 19 cups of coffee and you haven't eaten it.
Yeah.
It's time for you to stop.
Yeah, yeah.
Eat. Do something.
What?
No, I definitely need. You know, I'm looking forward to learning how to live better because, you know, I was actually in recovery for a while, and then all the medical stuff happened. I live with chronic pain. The ways I deal with it are inelegant, I would say, and I describe it as that. And you know, I don't drink, but you know, if that's really the only flag I have to wave, it's not much of a flag.
That's my only flag too, brother. So we're good. We're on the same team.
Aaron's California sober.
Yeah.
I was full on sober, and then I got cancer, 2 neck surgeries,
Jesus Christ, brother.
diabetes, and the hemorrhoidectomy thing.
Dave, you're a freaking
Fucking warrior.
warrior, man. You're a trooper and a half, dude.
Man.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah, right on, dude. You freaking rocked and rolled it. I mean,
I remember living in San Francisco. This had to have been like 93, and there was this troop of guys that were real couch dweller, you know, couch surfing dead types.
Yeah.
Not the smart, you know, not the sharpest tools in the drawer.
We all know and love them.
But this one guy was very smart. He was hanging out with these guys, and I could tell, you know, what the hell is he? What is he doing? And he pulled me aside and told me he had AIDS, and he only had a certain amount of time to live. And I think he was just, you know, going on tour, which at that point there was probably like a year left
Yeah.
of shows that he didn't know about, to go out on a gentle slide.
Wow.
Damn.
Wow.
That's-
Yeah, I ain't going out like
you never
that.
know what someone's dealing with.
No.
Never.
No.
Never. It's insane.
Wow. Dude, I'm stoked we did this.
Me too.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
This is fucking cool. I'm really happy to
this
have
is
met you,
great.
brother. Really, really
too.
happy to have met you. I think
Me
we
too.
can help each other.
Yeah, I think that we can definitely help
I'm
each other
psyched
for
for
sure.
our meeting.
Yeah, me too,
And
man.
and it's ball tickling to think it's going to be I'm going to have to wait 2 weeks.
I know, right?
Yeah.
That's a great description. It's ball tickling. I love that.
Next week, Mel's out of town. Our grandson's coming, and we have a live podcast.
Yeah, we got a lot of shit going on.
Wow. I can't believe you guys have grandkids.
Yeah, we have 5-year-old grandson.
We have, just a year older
Wow.
than your son, and that's another
That's
thing. Like it just
crazy.
changed our life completely shifted, and so that's why we're able to do this. We wouldn't have been able to do any of this shit if we
with
had
the kids here.
Yeah,
no way.
Never. I think our son in high school that we were able to do it because he was in high school. But like, you know, when you have a young family and you're trying to develop yourself and buy a house and like be together,
No way.
no way,
No fucking way.
It's too much. It's too much encompassing.
That was weird. I just got kicked off. And
Yeah,
it
that's
just
weird.
came back on.
Everything's been
Yeah,
weird.
yeah.
It's
I can't, but that's crazy. How old are you guys? Can I ask you?
Yeah.
52.
I'm 45.
Okay.
54.
Okay.
I'm the grandpa
Okay.
usually in the room.
What about you, Dave?
I'm going to be 52 in February.
Right
Happy
on.
birthday.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. We've been lucky.
Jesus, you're a 45-year-old grandmother?
Yeah, I was 40 as a grandmother. It was like kind of literally the best thing that could ever happen to a 40-year-old.
Their daughters.
I feel like prior to handing out blocks in your family chain, it's like sex education book.
You know, when I was a 16-year-old single mom, and
wasn't me.
It was, always,
my wife was 19.
Right? Yeah. It's like I was getting married by then.
Yeah, we got married when she was 19.
But I was a 16-year-old, single mom, and like everybody's like, this is horrible. You shouldn't do that. And then I get married at 19. Another thing. What are you doing? You're so young. You're a teenager, blah, whatever. It's the fucking best thing I ever did with my life. Those asinine or irresponsible, things. Everybody's always trying to do responsible shit. I was very irresponsible, but I was really responsible how I handled it. And I was a fucking great mom, and I poured every second into it. And because I was young, I didn't worry about making mistakes or doing dumb shit. We just did it. I just did stuff. And I didn't beat myself up about bad decisions. I just was like, this is my first time I'm doing it, and I'm a fucking great mom. We're the best. We're parents.
I believe it.
Well,
she really is.
Wait, you guys are in Oregon?
Yeah.
Portland.
But we're parents to like people that they want to be our kids. They're like asking. They're like, you guys are the best parents. What do I just put my kids first, and now that I don't have to, I can put this first, and it's a whole different head.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah.
Fun.
It works for me. I'm older than both of them.
Yeah, he's our.
I'm like their child sometimes. I have a lot of guidance.
You know
over
what
the years.
you remind me of is Uncle Jesse from the Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh shit!
I like that.
Yes.
Uncle Jesse meets Santa Claus.
I like that.
And kind of Uncle Jesse.
Uncle Jesse. If you wore overalls, that's it. The costume's complete.
Oh my god, it's on.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll take that.
Yeah.
I like Uncle Jesse's shit.
Some Oshkosh bagosh, you're on your way.
I got him upstairs too.
And
nice,
Uncle Jesse
nice.
always knew the weird shit and like had weird connections and knew how to like ground the Duke, those good old boys. Just,
There was a
no
time in
harm.
our culture when Enos had his own. Enos, is that his name?
Yeah, Ennis. Yeah.
No, Enos. I think you pronounce his name. Had his own fucking spin-off show.
Really?
It wasn't even Roscoe Pete Coltrane. It was Enos.
Yeah, and I remember that.
It was a massive cultural phenomenon.
It's funny too. My grandfather on my mom's side that I'm named after, James. His middle name is Ennis.
Oh, really?
They were almost
spelled the same.
They were almost spelled the same. They were almost going to name me after that, but my mom's the one that said, "No, we're not going to do that to him." His middle name's Michael.
Yeah, well,
It's a lot better
at least it's Annis. This is just
Enos.
straight on Enos.
Really close to anus.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, anus and penis.
Uncle
It's the
Penis
worst-
Anus.
The worst intersection ever. It's the intersection between penis and anus.
Yeah, I much prefer Uncle Apple to
Yeah, we'll go with Uncle Apple.
Anus
Uncle
penis.
Apple rules.
Well, brother, it's been a fucking blast.
It's been great, man.
Yeah,
I can't
man.
wait to keep it going.
Yeah, we'll talk in a week.
We're
man.
definitely keeping this going, man. Dave, you're
Yeah,
too fun
yeah.
not to, man.
Absolutely.
I will. Yeah, we'll talk in a week, and I'll
Oh, can you do me a favor though? Previous to when we
Send you that stuff.
That's the stuff about the mic, but also an intro with the Osiris people.
you got it.
Whatever. I would really love to talk with them. At the very
Okay.
least, I'd love to do a butt sniffing session.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
curious. I'm
Yeah.
really, really curious.
Yeah.
When you do that, I want to hear what your take was.
I'm not going in there with any expectations.
Perfect.
So it'll
Don't.
be
Yeah.
different.
Don't.
It'll be different than the last time. Yeah.
RJ's a good dude. He won't.
he is a
won't.
good dude.
He will not show up on the call as a fox or a wolf.
No.
No, he's a good dude. Family,
What's
family
the other
man.
guy? RJ and what?
RJB is his name. R
And J.
J and then BEE like the bug. And then
Okay.
the other guy is Tom Marshall. And Tom is the lyricist for Fish.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, before we leave, I just curiously want to know, what's your favorite Fish? Anything? Show, song, era, what?
I have two favorite Fish songs that I feel really never get their due, which is Piper is my all-time favorite. because it's like a wind-up toy.
Yep.
It's one thing that just goes around and around. And I love that kind of song. And I also really love and find curiously moving Slave to the Traffic Light.
That's one of my favorites.
Oh, okay.
It's one of my favorites too, man.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. Slave to the Traffic Light is like at the end of a show, when that comes on, there's a feeling in the stadium or wherever you're at that's unlike any other Fish. And it's them, like, I feel like the band is reaching their hand from wherever we just were out in space, and they're slowly pulling you back down to earth, reminding you that there's these things called cars that you're going to have to drive in a little while, and traffic lights that we have to pay attention to. But we're still going to have fun for another 15 minutes while we jam this song out. Just remember, you have to drive a car in a little while. Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
I really, the tempo changes in that, typically I find those kinds of tempo changes to be very self-conscious in a Zappa kind of way.
Yep.
With these guys, there's an organic way they do it that doesn't feel studied, and it's got a groove that never feels jagged or interrupted.
Because Fishman is a fucking weird animal, and I don't understand. When I listen and pay attention to the drumming in Fish, it logically makes no sense. I don't understand how it's possible what he's doing. So, all right, man, we'll talk soon.
This has been amazing. How long does it take you to put it up?
Well, this one
help you.
You will be out in
a month.
Yeah, 4 weeks.
1 month. Okay. Do you have a date? I'll put it on my. I'll make sure I. If you don't know, that's fine. I want to put it on my calendar.
No, you know what? He's going to send you that with the gear email.
Yeah, it'll be around the.
Okay.
Just because it'll
either be the 29th or the Friday following.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. I love you guys.
Love you too, man. We'll talk soon, brother.
All right.
Peace.
Be well.
Yes, man.
You too.
Aw.
Wow, man. Wow.
Yeah.
Super fucking cool. And you know what?
There's
a lot of that I, while we were talking, I was like, I don't know if I'm probably going to cut this part out.
Yeah, that's what I was going to,
and then I was like, no, this is No Simple Road. That's what we just did.
And that's also talking to another podcaster. It's kind of a lot of behind the scenes stuff that might think like nobody wants to hear this, but they do.
Yeah.
You're
right. You're right.
It's just
People
us.
do like to hear that.
This is us. I'm not censoring
This was literally us getting to know Dave.
Yeah.
So there you have it, folks.
Talking business, podcasting, music, all the
health
things that are us.
Yeah.
We even had a breakdown in the middle of the audio.
What I really appreciate too about Dave is him putting everything out on the line, talking about his stress level, his health, his partner, leaving in the midst of this, and he's still at it. He still loves it. He's still doing it.
Balls to the wall.
And it's not like, oh, I'm doing it. Like, no, he's all in. And to me, there is nothing better than when anyone takes something that seriously. Like,
and to the three of us, he's no bullshit.
It's no fucking bullshit.
He's no bullshit,
I love
which
that.
is awesome.
He reminds me of, when a little kid will walk up to you and you meet a little kid and they're like, "You're fat.
You're ugly. Your breath stinks."
But he's like that, but with more polish.
Yeah.
Remember before we started the show, I was like, not that I have a thing about critics, but like a critic usually is somebody who doesn't work in the industry that they're criticizing.
You didn't do it.
So they haven't done anything.
Critical of something they have no right to be critical
but
of.
Somehow or another, I understand where he's coming from, and it doesn't.
His level of obsession.
Yeah,
and he's got a way of explaining it too. Like if he was like he was.
There's parameters.
He was like, I don't like the way you smell, but here's like 12 things you can do about it.
And here's 4 reasons why.
I don't like the sweetness of the. No, I can appreciate a critique like that is what I was going to say.
Well, that was really, really fun. And go follow his show, Discograffiti. It's on Spotify and Apple Music.
And he's he's on Facebook, X, and Instagram.
And go to check out he sends out a newsletter every week too. That's like the most comprehensive newsletter I've ever seen from anybody ever. Period. And now I understand why. Every time I get it, I'm like, God damn, I'm slacking. So, and
well, thank you.
thanks, David. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
And if you are listening still, you listen to roughly a couple hours plus of us chattering. You are fabulous.
Fabulous.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being either fans of us or David or both.
Yeah. And we would like to welcome all the new Discograffiti listeners to the No Simple Road family.
Welcome.
And you can go to our Patreon and get all the content we discussed here.
Patreon.com/No Simple Road.
And we hope that everybody is safe and happy and healthy. And until next time, we'll be back next week with more stuff and things. Smile as stranger, safety third, hydrate,
Love one another, love yourself.
be kind. And you never know what somebody's going through, man, and why they do stuff. So give everybody the benefit of the doubt. It's probably a good rule of
Drop
thumb.
the judgment today.
Yeah. Love y'all. Peace.
But it's a burden. Family needs has been deferred, and hella means been the earth, and alchemy can bring the birth, the melody of a newborn. So persistent, so resistant, so insistent, so commitment, so resilient, or haven't you learned it? No simple road. 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 My windshield is shattered as I focus through the spot in the corner that is still intact. The react is both a defense mechanism as well as a fear. We've traveled this road before, so we may think, but it's a tad bit of strange similarities that feed an A=A complex. The fears of your past do not equal the perplexities of the current road.
Hi, this is Paul Phelps,
And this is Monica Strutt.
and we're from the Daily Music Business Podcast. We're joined by a number of other really great hosts in creating daily content with great advice for independent musicians just like you.
That's right. We put out episodes daily on all topics from music marketing to branding, advice on signing with a manager and label, and anything else you need to up-level the business side of your music career. We've got it covered.
Subscribe to the Daily Music Business Podcast today on your favorite podcast catcher.
Subscribe today to the Daily Music Business Podcast on your favorite podcast platform.